Hey! So today is the 29th of September, Bobby's due date, and lo and behold, my waters break at 4:40-ish this morning. So that's exciting. It kind of, has been a steady trickle, shall we say, rather than all of it all coming at once. So that has been quite handy really, because I haven't, made a big mess. I don't know what to say. So from about 5:30-ish this morning, I've been having contractions, varying in kind of length and intensity. They were kind of building up, and then from about 9:30-ish, they've kind of calmed down. They're not as intense, and they have become less frequent, which is kind of annoying. Now, we had previously been told when contractions are about 5 minutes apart and about a minute in length, that's when you should be going to the hospital. So I phoned up the midwife unit, and they said, no, they need to be at least a minute in length and about 2 to 3 minutes apart. Now, on a good journey, it would take us about half an hour, 40 minutes to get to the hospital. So I'm a little bit concerned about this. But hey, they obviously don't want us there when we don't need to be there. So we'll see. But obviously they've calmed down at the minute, so it was a good job we didn't leave when we were going to leave, because things seem to have stopped. So I'm now on my bouncy ball, and hoping that things will start picking up again soon. I'll keep you updated. Hey, so as you can see, we are now in the car on the way to the hospital. I was having quite regular contractions this morning, but they weren't quite close enough together. So I was told to stay at home. And then I phoned again later on to kind of say, well, obviously when my waters broke 4:30 this morning, my contractions have now sort of slowed down and they're becoming less frequent. So what do you want me to do? And they phoned me back about, just over an hour later, hour and a half later, because there was no midwives available at that time. And I basically was told that if my waters are broken, then I should have been coming in to get assessed anyway, which I spoke to 2 different midwives this morning at the maternity-led unit, and neither of them informed me of this. So when I phoned the maternity assessment unit, they were like, yeah, you need to come in and get checked over. So chances are they'll send us home again, and then unless my contractions pick up obviously on the journey and when we're there. But so yeah, not really that happy about that, to be honest, because they could have told us that at 4:30 this morning instead of now it's 4:10 in the afternoon. So nearly 12 hours has gone, and I should have been assessed this morning. So hey, I'm trying to stay calm. Everything's fine. And currently there is a man in our house looking at our heating because the heating's not working properly, which is fine at the minute because it's not too cold here at the minute. But obviously with a newborn on the way and we're edging into October very soon, we need to get it sorted. So a friend has had to step in and hold the fort whilst we're gone. So fingers crossed that can get fixed as well, and fingers crossed we don't get sent back home straight away without a baby, but we probably will be. We shall see. Keep you updated. Bye. So it's now actually the 30th of September. Apparently my waters didn't break yesterday. It was a false alarm, but I've been having contractions irregularly since yesterday at 5:30 in the morning. It is now 9:35 in the evening the next day. Since about 5:30, 6 o'clock this afternoon they started picking up and being more regular. They're now ranging between every 4 to 5 minutes, and we are on our way to get checked out. Since being in the car they haven't been as regular at all, so I'm hoping that they pick up again, because I really don't want to get sent away. There's been a lot of the bloody show, as it were, that's been presenting itself with quite a lot of the contractions, so I'm hoping They check everything and they say stay. Anyway, I'll keep you updated. Hello and welcome back. I'm going to have to speak slightly quieter than usual because, you know, there's a baby now. Welcome to the labour and delivery story. So, the due date was the 29th of September, which was the Thursday, and I had my stretch and sweep at the midwife's on the Wednesday, so the day before. And on the Thursday morning, about 4:30, I thought my waters had broken. I woke up thinking my waters had broken, so we phoned the midwives, and I started having contractions as well. So phoned the midwives, and they said, "Oh, no hurry to come in, but come in before lunchtime. Just phone us before you come in. You know, unless your contractions become 5 minutes apart, lasting a minute each for an hour, because that's the point where you're meant to go into hospital." So before lunchtime, we phoned them again to say, "Are we right to come in? My water's broke this morning, and this is how far along the contractions are." They weren't kind of consistent. There was no sort of pattern at that point, but they were pretty intense. And I was told that no, we didn't need to go in yet until the contractions were 2 to 3 minutes apart. Now, we live 30 to 40 minutes away from the hospital if there's no traffic, but there's been quite bad roadworks on the road to the hospital lately, so, you know, depending on the time, could be a lot longer than that. So that was a bit of a scary thought, leaving it 2 to 3 minutes apart. And we'd not heard that from anywhere else, not on our antenatal classes, not from my midwife, not from the midwife who'd spoken to earlier on that day, etc. It's all this 5-1-1 talk, 5 minutes apart, one lasting a minute for an hour. 5-1-1, that's the rules. And then this other midwife was saying 2 to 3 minutes apart. What's going on? So we left it, but I was also thinking, if my waters are broken, then surely they want the baby out within 24 hours because of the risk of infection. So what should we do? So I waited until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, phoned them again and said, basically, what do we do? This is what we've been told today. And they were like, so when you got assessed with your waters, they decided they broke. I was like, no, I've not been in at all today. Oh, well, you definitely need to come in then. So we rushed in. Oh, also, we had the man here fixing the heating, so our friend Rachel had to come and kind of look after the house for us and sign off the work for the heating. The heating's now fixed. Anyway, so we got to the hospital, got checked. My waters had not broken. So, yeah, apparently. I still think they had, but, you know, the midwife who told us 2 to 3 minutes apart was the one who did the check, and she informed me that it wasn't the case. So anyway, we got sent home. So went home. Contractions were still continuing. They were between every 5 minutes to every 40 minutes, but usually more like 5-10 minutes apart. Intense. Like I had to hold my husband's hand and squeeze this first part of the contraction. So that was, yeah, that was not very pleasant. That was all day Thursday, all day Friday. And we went back and forth to the hospital because they kept getting 5 minutes, you know, the 5-1-1 thing I just spoke about. So we went back and forth to the hospital, but on the way to the hospital, they slowed down. By the time we got there, they were like 6, 7, 8 minutes apart. They didn't want to check how dilated I was because of the risk of infection and stuff. So they left it. Eventually, we'd come home. I mean, we're trying to sleep, but there was like no sleep. On Saturday, eventually they got to the sort of 2 to 3 minutes apart. My husband made us stay until that point because he knew that if we'd gone at the 5 minute point, it would just happen again. So 2 to 3 minutes apart, we were there at the hospital. I was 3 centimetres dilated, but they let me stay, and I could go up to the Spires, which is the midwife-led unit above our local hospital. and it was amazing. Like, I went into this room and there was this bed, which is kind of like a bed chair thing that they're trying to put out to kind of everywhere, basically. I can't think of my words. We'll call it baby brain, but you know, you guys know me, it's just me. They're trying to roll out, that's what I'm trying to say, across kind of all birthing units, I believe, anyway. And there was a rocking chair, there was a birthing ball, there was a big water bath pool, birthing pool. Oh my god. Had my own little bathroom. We had Radio 1 on. So our baby was born to Radio 1. And yeah, it was really nice. So, I mean, obviously I was in a lot of pain, but the room was nice. So did some kind of kneeling and squatting on the bed bit thing, bent over the bed for a bit, just kind of trying to move my hips. I was on the birth ball for a bit. I ended up having the injection for pain relief that I didn't particularly want, but then the midwife said some women have slept for 3 hours through it, and I'd been like 3 days without sleep. So the thought of getting some sleep was amazing. But actually I didn't really find it did much for me. I think it made the contraction slightly shorter, or at least feel slightly shorter. Like the end pain, which is like the least anyway, kind of tapered off faster, but the initial full whack of pain was still as intense, which was the bit I was hoping to kind of lessen. So yeah, my waters broke. I went to the loo and my waters kind of broke. Then I had my show, as they say. Then I threw up in the sink. That was lovely. And then I went on the then I had gas and air. That was amazing. They say for the first like 10-15 minutes, I think it is, it makes you feel really, really drunk, which it does. I was really out of it, but it did really help. I don't know if it actually affected the pain, but it kind of just makes you not really care that much. But it also gives you, it makes you focus on your breathing so much more than the actual pain. So it kind of, yeah, it was very helpful. And I think I was very well controlled after the contractions, handing the gas back to, you know, my husband or the midwife, whoever was in charge of my gas and air at that point, because you see them on like one every minute, and they won't let it go. But it was making me feel so woozy that there's no way I could have been breathing that the whole time. Yeah, but that was good. The gas and air was the best. I think the injection didn't work for me. So yeah, and then after a while of that and being on the birthing ball and stuff, I then went in the pool, which I know I said in my previous video I was not planning on using the birthing pool, but I'm so grateful I did, because it just kind of relieved all the muscle tension sort of, and just the stress on your body. Not all the stress, obviously, because it's a very stressful time, but just having the kind of weightlessness in the water was just really helpful. And I think I did most of the labouring in there. So I was in there once I was fully dilated. And yeah, most of the pushing happened in there. And you can have your gas and air in there, it's no problem. I did have to come out of the pool because I'd been in there for quite a long time and I wasn't quite progressing enough. So baby was not born in the pool. We then used the, is it called a birthing stool? It looks like a potty with front chopped off, basically. So you sit on the potty, and it's got 2 handles, and you kind of pull up on the handles whilst you're like pushing down. My husband was sat behind me, supporting me, and that is how baby was born. Eventually, after lots of pushing and lots of crazy noises coming out of my face. Yeah, and just the release. Like, finally, when her head was born, the release was just insane. And then obviously you've got to push again to get the shoulders out, but it was nothing in comparison to the head, because obviously her head had made way already. So we had a pretty natural birth, really, just the injection of the gas and air. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself. However, my body then did not want to let go of the placenta, so I had to be wheeled down to the hospital. So it's just as well that we were at the midwifery unit above the hospital, because it's only a 7-minute journey down, and had to wait for theatre. There was some emergencies at the time, so I had to wait a bit longer. And I had to have an injection in my back. Well, I had a few kind of to numb the area where they were putting the main injection, and then yeah, this kind of spinal injection. It wasn't an epidural, but it's kind of a similar effect it has. So it numbed me from kind of my waist down. It was bizarre because then my legs had to go into stirrups, but you can see your legs and you can see them moving your legs, but you can't feel them. It's weird. You know, like if you fall asleep on your arm and then you kind of like this in the morning and you're like, what? But you can't feel it. It's like that. It was weird. And yeah, they had to get my placenta out basically. So I'd lost a fair amount of blood, not crazy amounts. I didn't have to have a transfusion or anything. I'm just on iron tablets now, even though my iron levels are actually all right as a normal person, but my iron levels apparently are quite good. So for me they are low, but they're fine for a normal person. I don't know. They'd maybe go on these anyway. Yeah, and we stayed in hospital for 2 nights. 2 nights? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 2 nights. And then came home on the Monday. So baby was born on Saturday at 7:07 in the evening, so 19:07. And she weighed 7 pounds and 15 ounces, which, yeah, we were quite surprised that she was going to be that much. I don't know why. I mean, it's a good weight. I just thought she'd be a little bit less than that, but yeah, no, she's a good healthy weight. She had a full chubby little face. Well, not chubby face, but not a wrinkly kind of soggy looking face. So yeah, I think because we were 40 weeks and 2 days, it kind of added a bit of plumpy time. Yeah, and now we are back home and baby is doing well. I'm doing well. My husband's doing well. And yeah, that's the labour and delivery story really. You see a few clips where I put in of us on the way to the hospital many times. Yeah, I'm doing week 1 update, kind of what we experienced, you know, midwife wise and breastfeeding and all that sort of stuff. And I will also do a little introduction, and you can learn baby's name and you can see her. She's currently asleep, so I will not be showing you now. But yeah, exciting times, guys. And we just love her so much. She's beautiful and she's amazing. Yeah. Alright. Speak to you soon. Bye.